NHL Nightly with your host, the sportsman, a.k.a. Peter Lebowski, a.k.a. Jeremiah Maxwell. And with him, as always, maybe Perlo, Wisdom, and Rico in Barry.
Hey, everybody, again for the first time. I forgot to hit the live button. It happens to the best of us. We're going to start the show over for the benefit of you guys because we were talking to ourselves in nowhere. I'm Jeremiah Maxwell with you as always. I've got Rico in Barrie, Ontario. I've got Perlo in Edmonton, Alberta. And we've got Mike, the degenerate box gambler. No occupancy tonight. He is on hiatus because of school stuff. Sorry about that, you guys. Daniel Barrie, thank you for your patience. We're just probably sitting in the chat like, where are these guys? They're like 10 minutes late. They're never late. We started the show early, but then again, we're late on the early, so I apologize. If you're just joining us, Florida just scored to make it 4-1. It looks like they're going to win this series in 5. I got the Hedman and Tkachuk up there. I think this has easily been the best series, or at least my favorite series to watch. It's going to be interesting. Is this, before we go into the Dave Hakstol firing, which we already talked about ad nauseum, and I want all you guys to go back with your same takes so I can make mine. Is this the last time we see Steven Stamkos in a Tampa Bay Lightning jersey? Rico, since you're a Thunder Bay guy. I mean, I guess he's not from Thunder Bay. But
no, but I can't see it, man. When you think of Tampa Bay Lightning over the last 10 years, it's Steven Stamkos. I think they're going to come to an agreement. Yeah, his family loves it there. He loves it there. The tax situation, the team, the familiarity. I mean, he's not a kid anymore. He won his cups.
But I think he should have to become an American citizen and play on Team USA.
Yeah.
Just because I want him for the power play shot.
Yeah, I mean, the guy's just scoring at will here. He's got like 20 or 21 goals.
5-1 Florida, by the way. 5-1 Florida. Oh, yeah, man, and I love John Cooper. What a class act. Sorry, Rico, finish your thoughts.
No, I was just going to say, I think Stamkos got like 21 goals in his last 21 games stemming from the regular season and the playoffs going into this game. The guy is just such a lethal shooter, so I'm sure they'll get it sorted out. I don't think he's going anywhere.
Perlo, what do you think? Real quick.
I used to think the same thing as Rico until I heard his comments. Was it a day or two ago where he said, "This is not going to be my last game in Tampa Bay," and they won the game. But he gave the indication that it could have been the last game in Tampa Bay. I think it's very possible now. I was all over. I was like, no way, they're not going to let it happen. But I think it's very possible that's his last.
Well, and if he signs with another team, he's still going to be playing Tampa Bay at least twice a year, at least once in their division. So the whole "this won't be my last game." I get it.
But he's not looking at it from that way. He's looking at it from as a Lightning.
I know, Perlo. I'm being a smart ass. You don't have to even defend that. Mike, what do you think real quick on Stamkos?
No. He won't go unless they have a captain ready to step in. Lecavalier in St. Louis did that for him, going down the ladder. He's not going anywhere until he's for sure Tampa's got the next guy up, which I think is pretty cool in their system that they've done.
Point?
You think Point?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you don't think Kucherov, huh?
No, Kuch doesn't want that stuff. If you're going to be a captain,
he wears an A. Does he not wear an A for them?
Yeah, but he doesn't want to talk to the media. He doesn't want to do any of that stuff like that. I would say Point would be the next one in line.
I have not got the impression that Kucherov doesn't like talking to the media. I think he excels at it.
Nah, not the way. Nah, I don't see it, but I could be wrong. But it just makes me feel icky inside to think Stamkos is not going to be a Lightning. Like if that were to happen, it's like really, it's too bad. Too bad.
Okay. Do you have the feeling of deja vu do you have the feeling of deja vu? The Seattle Kraken fire head coach Dave Hakstol. I talked to our boys RJ Eskinos and Dylan Travers. Dylan replied, yes, glad it happened. RJ replied, listen to the pod. I listened to the Emerald City Hockey Podcast, the deep dive. Listen to their hour pod. They had a bunch of great stuff. Those guys are like worlds better than we are at our podcast. I really enjoy them. Dylan brings in a lot of the analytics and stuff. He really follows all that stuff. Rico, who do you think would be a good hire for the Seattle Kraken and replace Dave Hakstol?
Yeah, I'm just going to go with a little dark horse guy because I heard his name today on Kipper and Bourne is Jay Woodcroft's coaching the new the Canada team over at the Worlds over in Prague. I guess Rick Nash asked him to go coach, said, yeah, absolutely, I'm in. And Woodcroft coached Canada back in Prague last time they won there as well, too. So just hearing his name kind of surface a bit, getting interested in coaching again. I know you haven't heard his name getting thrown around too much, so I'll just make that my pick, that he's familiar with the West Coast, that area with those teams, and I think he'd be a pretty good fit.
Okay, Perlo, what do you think?
Well, I can't remember his name, but they have a coach in the minors for Seattle that's doing very well, but he needs a little more time.
You mean Dan Bilesma, former Stanley Cup winning coach of the Pittsburgh Penguins in 2009?
He's down there right
Coachella
now?
Valley. Yes, that's Coachella Valley Fire.
So he's not new. He's old.
No,
anyway, he doesn't
he's
want to leave.
Stanley Cup winner.
And he doesn't want to leave.
Hockey in the house.
And he doesn't want to leave Coachella because, he's got a good life there. So,
yeah. I've heard that he might be comfortable there.
Yeah, he's pretty comfortable there, probably. So, I'll throw a name out there. I just probably needs a little time. Francis is like that. He's looking ahead. And a guy that I could see that would bring in a really good energy and environment to that room, which I think is what they need. And that might be the problem and might be the reason why they fired the coach.
Well, real quick, Perlo, I said it in our intro when we were talking before the show, but Emily Kaplan reported today that there were multiple Seattle Kraken players that said they didn't want to come back if Hakstol was the coach. So
it was an environment. Boudreaux.
Oh, Boudreaux. You think Boudreaux?
Boudreaux, looking for an environment coach, Boudreaux is the guy. He's going to bring a great environment.
I don't.
You don't want to.
There it is.
Years, but Bruce, there it is.
I would love it. I don't think it's happening.
Maybe
what about you? What about and Florida has scored another empty net goal to make it 6-1.
This is sad to watch.
So if you had the over, you just got it because there've been a bunch of goals scored.
Third empty netter.
I just had Florida in regulation. That's all I had.
Well, you're getting it. You're getting Florida in regulation because it is. I'm just gonna call the series is over. Florida has won the game 6-1. I don't see any reason why Tampa would keep their goalie pulled at this rate. So we're going to call it series 4-1. It's over.
How about Sergachev coming back, though, eh?
Dude, they were calling him Wolverine on Chicklets. I thought that was interesting. Hey, let's get Mike's real before we get off to subject because we feels like we've talked about this. Mike, who would you like for the Seattle Kraken as far as a coach?
University of Quinnipiac's head coach, Rand Pecknold. He took the team from club to D3 to Division I national champs. Let's give him a shot at the NHL. He already vocalized he wanted a shot. Why not Seattle?
I actually love that one, Mike, and could totally see that. The Emerald City Hockey guys dropped one that I liked, and I said earlier, Carl Taylor, the AHL coach of the Milwaukee Admirals. But another name I heard is Anchorage, Alaska's own Excuse me, guys. Sorry about the dogs. Anchorage, Alaska's own David Carl, who coaches the Denver. We sat next to each other, did we not, for the semifinal games, Mike? Hopefully we can make that a tradition.
I got my St. Louis tickets booked.
You already got your tickets booked? All right, man.
I'm in the express lane for those. So I bought them, I think a week after or 3 days after.
How much did they run you this far out?
So I bought 4 tickets. So they wanted a $100 deposit for each of them, but I got 4 seats.
Okay, wow. So you bought 4 tickets.
Yep.
Nice. Are you still sitting club level? Is that what you're doing?
You can only reserve your spot in the queue, basically.
You know what that means, Beard? He bought 4, man. Look who's on the screen right now.
No, I'm sure he wants to bring his friends. But I'm coming. I'm going to be there. I'll be there for it. I haven't been to St. Louis before either. I think I've been through there, but I haven't been. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to go there, man. It's going to be a good time. Yeah. And we promise we'll do more college for the fans in the chat and stuff. I really am enjoying the college game, and it's getting really good. So might actually do some live streams from some college. So Mike, I'll definitely want to have you on for those. Maybe you can tell some of the listeners what you're betting on, and that'll be really fun. So just to finish up with the Hakstol conversation, I love what everybody brought to the table. We're now witnessing Florida Panthers shake hands with Steven Stamkos. Of course, the ESPN people I don't even have to hear are probably like, is this Stamkos' last game? You know, they're just going to try to play up the drama as much as it is possible. We talked about it. I didn't really say my piece. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go elsewhere, guys, just with the cap rising. But that's one of the reasons I think he'll be back in Tampa. But I think he'll have to take a hometown discount for them, like $3 million or something. Even though he had a good year, I'll be real interested to see what happens and how that goes. So we got Vegas. We got Dallas before the game drops, before the puck drops here. Well, I guess the puck has dropped. Well, what do you guys got? What do you guys got in this? Who do you guys like? Do you think Dallas evens up the series? You got any bets on this? Tell the listeners.
I took the first period over. First period, both teams to score. I think both these teams are going to come at each other. The pace is going to be set pretty good. Wyatt Johnson, goal, assists, over 1.5 points since he's been moved up to the top line. 2 goals last game. I mean, on a full game, I just took a small lean on the draw. I just figure it's going to tighten up as the game goes on a bit. But on the Vegas side, Barbashov's always good for a point prop. He pays at like plus 140, and he plays on the top line just to get a point. So that's money most often. So looking at him with the Noah Hannafin assists, amongst others, but that's my main ones.
Perlo or Mike?
I like Vegas money line, and I like the over full game. That's what I got on this.
Okay, Mike?
So we've never had a playoff series where no one goes 2-2. I took Dallas for that reason. Nothing has gone 2-2 yet. I think the road team wins everything except Game 7 this series, though.
Okay. All right, so the Panthers await the winner of the Bruins-Leafs. That game is tomorrow. The Leafs are a road dog plus 140. Rico, do your Leafs stay alive and force a Game 6?
Oh, God. Depends if Matthews and Marner, or Matthews and if Matthews and Nylander are healthy and Marner didn't break his wrist throwing those gloves behind him in the bench and he's able to play, they might have a chance. I mean, Boston's such a structured team with good goaltending. I mean, good leadership on that team. I mean, Toronto can't score more than 1 or 2 goals in the series. It doesn't matter who they play net. They're not scoring enough goals right now. So, I mean, Boston's probably going to win the next one at home and move on. I can't. There's too much dysfunction there. I mean, you're playing Ryan.
Rico, seriously, I have to ask you this question. Do you just want the Leafs to lose so you could be out of your misery on this one? Do you feel like if they win, it just prolongs your misery?
Yeah, you could say that, but I mean, I'd like to watch another home game. But I mean, realistically, I don't think that they're going to win in Boston the next game. There's something going on with this team, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna speak on migraines or anything like that. I'm not gonna speak on food poisoning or what's going on. I think there's gonna be more that's gonna come out after this.
Marchand poisoned him. I think Marchand poisoned him. I think Marchand sent him a letter of like Putin does to his enemies. Just send him a little radioactive stuff in the mail. Got old Willie, got old seems like right up Marchand's lane, domestic terrorism. If you ask Leaf fans, he is a domestic terrorist. Oh my God. Marchand $6.7 million is beating Tavares, Matthews, Marner, and Nylander in points all combined. He's kicking the shit out of $44 million worth of players. Oh, it's pathetic. And
he's always been a better player than those guys. He just happened to take less and stay in Boston because he's that fucking type of guy. But I mean, he's into his late 30s right now, and the guy was arguably the best player on the last Olympic team for Team Canada. I mean, I can't speak any less of the guy because he's making $6.7 million a year. He's one of the best players in the league. He's going right to the Hall
I'm not
of Fame.
speaking less of him. I'm speaking like ingratiating him because I think it's Look, I had the Leafs winning this series, and they have the team. They have the better talented team, at least up front. And I understand Willie Nylander missed 3 games. Okay, well, look, everybody's got injuries, man. The Caps didn't play with 2 defensemen. When they got them back, they were better off probably not playing them. I'm telling you,
but Boston's been in the lead in that division for most of the year. They're
I know Boston was a
structured team.
But did you think they were good?
I mean, they were good all year. So,
Mike, did you think the Bruins were going to do much this year in the playoffs?
I have them under 1.5 rounds. I don't
as
buy
a Bruins fan, correct?
Season ticket holder.
Yeah, season ticket.
I would have taken that bet. I would have taken Boston to go past the first round and lose in the second round. That's not a bad bet.
Yeah, so I bet that for a second, but they have nothing up the middle. Like Charlie Coyle is our best centerman. Come on, fellas.
But they're good. But they're
dude,
good.
That's what I was
guys,
saying, and I didn't like your defensive depth. Andrew P. He couldn't crack the lineup in the Blue Jackets, and the Bruins are missing him.
Still better than Toronto, though.
I love
Toronto's defense is horrible.
Yeah.
What did I take? What did I take?
You did take the Bruins, Burlow. You took the Bruins.
And how many? 5.
Bruins in 5 too.
They're not winning the second round. They're not winning the second round. But
so
that Toronto defense is absolutely.
I had Toronto making it to the second round, but I didn't think they would get by the Panthers.
The repeat of this Florida-Carolina series is going to be unbelievable. The repeat of last year, these two teams went at each other, and most of the games went to overtime. Like, dude,
Florida and Carolina aren't playing themselves in the second round, Rico.
Rangers.
The Carolina Hurricanes need to beat the Islanders tomorrow. I'm glad you brought that up because that's the next game. Let's talk about that. Islanders are plus 210. If they win, they will face the New York Rangers out of the Metro Division. So the Hurricanes and Rangers most likely in the second round.
Oh, I meant the round after that. Carolina is going to play Florida.
Okay, so yeah, no, I mean, let's see. I did not like what I saw from the Rangers. I know the Caps sent half their team down to help the Hershey Bears win the AHL Calder Cup again. That's how many Hershey Bears were playing on. And report, not an excuse, TJ Oshie played game 4 with a broken hand because he's a legend. And I believe it's his last game. He stayed late on the ice and waved to fans. So shout out TJ Oshie. He had a hell of a career. I know Singsy hates him, but fuck you, Singsy. TJ Oshie is awesome. So, Rico, he got Islanders Hurricanes. We got Islanders Hurricanes plus 210.
Oh. Well, the Hurricanes puck line. I think they just finished this off because they know New York is sitting at home resting right now, so they don't want to screw around. They want to get this done. So I take Carolina puck line because you're not going to get them any different if you wanted paying well. So take Carolina puck line. They're going to want to sit at home and get some rest too, just like New York is.
Perlo, go ahead.
I'm the same. First period puck line. Carolina's going to ruin them tomorrow.
Somebody spring a leak there? What's going on with you? I mean, if somebody spring a leak, it's like a tire losing air or something on the other end there.
Oh no,
Mike, who do you like?
I'm taking the Islanders. I think they've been the better team most of this series. They just don't know how to win. I think they got a little more fight in them. But I'm taking K's in 6.
Okay, so you like the Islanders to win this one tomorrow. I like it.
Yes.
It. Okay, let's go Avalanche Jets. Mike, why don't you kick it off? Jets are a +102 home dog. Wow. What happened to the Jets?
I think Hellebuck's tired. I said it before the series started. I know he's a fighter. He loves playing every night. I think he's just tired. I like the over, and I like the Avs.
Perlo, I had to mute you just because that static was coming from your end. So just unmute yourself. Tell us who you like.
Yeah, I like Colorado. Not for the same reasons as my buddy Mike there. They just have way too much speed for Winnipeg. That's really what it comes down to.
And you were never sold on Winnipeg's D all year, I have to say. You've been on that one for the whole thing. So
the bottom 3 for Winnipeg is terrible. They can't keep up to the pace of Colorado. I had Colorado in 5, so I'm going to stick with it. And Colorado just ruins them. I think this is not even going to be pretty.
Rico, go ahead.
Yeah, problem with Winnipeg. Yeah, they're not keeping up with the Colorado offense. Yeah, they did it in game 1. Hellbuck could very well be tired too. They should have played Brossois a little bit more, but they were fighting for those points in that division with Dallas and Colorado all year. But the problem with Winnipeg is that line of Ehlers, Monahan, and Toffoli. Ehlers has 0 points in this series, and I think they've got 2 points combined on that whole line with Monahan, Toffoli, and Ehlers. And 2 of those guys you picked up at the deadline. It's just no excuse for those guys not producing. So.
Yeah, I feel really bad for the diehard Jets fans, man, because the Jesse Pollocks of the world or whatever. I just feel bad for them because I know that's a really devoted fan base. I know they had a tough year. I know things aren't great economically in Winnipeg right now, and I just feel for that fan base. I know they're really devoted. It sucks that they had to draw the Avalanche, to be quite frank.
We knew it, man. It's like Edmonton, like Vegas and Dallas, like this series here, like Dallas wins the division. Hello, who do you got waiting for you? The Vegas Golden.
Well, they almost won the league. They weren't that far off the Presidents. Yeah, it's brutal. And not to mention Logan Thompson has refound his all-star form from 2 years ago. So he's looked good. Let's talk about the series that could easily be 3-1 Preds, but is yet 3-1 Canucks. I've said this whole time I believed in the Canucks. I thought they would actually beat Edmonton in the next round because they played Edmonton very well, and I like their defensive skill. But Edmonton looks great, and they're getting – but I also thought a healthy Thatcher Demko, they win with 3 different goalies. Rico, who do you like here? There's no favorite, really.
Yeah, I don't mind taking Nashville. Just clear the slate. They played better. Vancouver's down, to their 3rd goalie, and Casey DeSmith isn't an all-world beater either. So
I thought Casey DeSmith played incredibly well in his game. By the way,
he's good, but I mean, Soros is a much better goalie. And the thing with Vancouver is they basically broke a record for shots on goal through 4 games. They got 71 shots on goal, and that's a playoff record. So, and Pettersson hasn't woken up yet either. So, I mean, if he wakes up a little bit, that could be trouble for Nashville. But I think the Preds come out and win that game.
Occupancy. You said not to send it to you because you had finals, so I didn't send you the link. So, sorry about that, buddy. Well, we're going to be ending the show here pretty soon, so I will not send you the link, but we can get you in later, unless that's fake occupancy, and then disregard.
So
Perlo, go ahead. Preds Canucks. You got to unmute yourself, Perlo, or I can do it for you. You got to unmute yourself. Yeah, you got to unmute yourself.
There we go. Sorry. I'm sticking with the Preds. I just think I love O'Reilly. I like their character. I think Vancouver is not a bad team at all, but the Preds to me are a team that knows how to win, and Vancouver is just learning how to do that. And so I'll lean the Preds here. It's going to be a tough game. It's no disrespect to Vancouver. I think they're a very good team. But, I mean, you're looking at Seeloss, right? Like a rookie goaltender going up against Saros. I think the Preds will probably pull it out. I would take an under in the Preds, maybe like 3-2, something like that. It's going to be close. But I like the Preds to pull it out.
All right, Mike, let him have it.
It feels dumb fading you guys, but I think the Preds go up to Vancouver and lay an egg. I want Vancouver at 2.5.
All right, I like the Canucks.
I just don't see it. Just don't see it. I think they're going to come out flat, and they lost it all right there in Nashville.
Yeah, I thought that Game 4 loss is a real hard bridge to overcome. I'm with you on the Canucks. Well, that's a show tonight, guys. Really fast one. I appreciate it. Sorry we were a little bit late on the 5:31. I'll give everybody a real quick chance, final thoughts, to just discuss how you've seen the playoff shape up. Who's the biggest surprise? Whatever. Rico, go ahead.
I mean, in the salary cap era, you just got to find a weakness. There's a weakness on every team. So, looking at the Edmonton Oilers, man, probably one of the best power plays I've ever seen in the league. So if for some reason that ever stops, I want to see how Edmonton plays. But because last game beating the LA Kings like they did in that low-scoring game, I think they've learned their lesson a little bit 5-on-5. So that's what I'm going to kind of look for and see if Edmonton just doesn't keep rolling on the power play. If they got to start playing these 5-on-5 games, especially in the next round, if they meet like a Vegas or
even though the goal they scored in that game was on the power play.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing that scares me about the Oilers is basically they're so dominant on the power play. Once you get into the deeper rounds, it just seems like that becomes less and less a factor. So that's what I'm going to be keen on going forward.
Yeah, I'll say this too. Regardless of Preds or Canucks, I don't think they walk through either of those teams like they've done the LA Kings. And they could have actually won this in 4 if they didn't lay an egg in game 2. So I really do feel like, as much as I would love to see it, I thought Dave Rittich played a hell of a game, and if I was LA, I would come back with Rittich. But Perlo, what are your thoughts? Just give final thoughts. And
I'm with you on Rittich. I mean, and I never thought I would say go to Rittich, but he has played actually not only good now, but he's played good all year. He's played really well. He seems to have reached something in himself to be what everybody thought he could be right now. And I'd be going to Rittich for sure, no doubt about it. That being said, I don't think it matters because LA, there's some problems there in LA. When you've got a great coach like McClellan that says, I don't even know what to do anymore.
I think Rob Blake's job is in jeopardy. I think the first round exit, they need to reevaluate. I think he should be fired. He's made some really bad moves.
Yeah, Blake is done for sure, I would say. But I still think the Oilers will probably win unless they play. If they play Vegas, I don't know, man. This Vegas team will surprise you every single time, and I'm not.
It's better than last year's team to me, too. By the way,
what's that?
They look. I think this incarnation of the Vegas Golden Knights looks better than last year's team.
It does. Yeah, it does.
It looks better defensively, and it looks better with the depth. Mantha was having a good year for the Capitals. 20 goals this year. Could have used them against the New York Rangers. I could tell you that much.
Yeah, I don't think anybody beats Vegas. I just the way they're playing right now, it's like a machine. And I don't think anybody beats them. I got them.
Vegas scores the first goal in this game. It's over.
It's over. Yeah, I agree. I don't think anybody beats Vegas in the West. I think Vegas makes it now. And that was stupid because I had them before the season started, and then I waffled, but I'm back on them again.
Well, they played bad Proto for 2 months. They were not good, so I understand it.
I think they play a lot of possum. I think they practice more than they.
I don't think it was the case this year, man. I think they legit were devastated by injuries again, and then their goaltending didn't stay healthy either. So, all right, I'm going to give it to Mike because I do want to try to end the show.
I think they practice more than they play in the regular season, and they play more than they practice in the playoffs. That's my take on that.
Yeah, no, man. I don't think you get a lot of disagreement that they're one of the teams to beat in the West here. Mike, your final thoughts.
I heard a stat today from the Point. The LA Kings are actually winning that series 10-9 on 5-on-5, and Oilers' power play is just destroying LA's power play. With that, I don't think the Oilers get out of the second round if they can't win the 5-on-5 game. And this is going to be a hot take. I'm going to get ripped apart. I think the Avs are back. I think I'm getting a new puck. I think the Avs win it all.
Okay.
I do.
No, I like it.
That's a good pick.
Yeah. I don't disagree with all your sentiments, guys. I think it was great. I appreciate everybody coming out for an early show. I have to cut it short early this time, but we'll see you later on. I'll discuss the schedule. This is going to be a weird week, I think. So I'll talk with Perlo and Rico after, and we'll figure it out. But we appreciate all you guys. Thank you for being with us. We'll be back tomorrow.